Is this series? Okay.
I guess. But these games don't matter, it's fine. Anyway, so again, here with DT, this is Polina from Team D, Clippy from Team C, Ryak from Team A, Morgan from Team B. Reading the actual team names just takes far too long, so I'm not gonna do that.
Now let's skip that.
Alright, so now we have a map.
Oh. We have claims, we have nukes, and we have a lot of green prices.
We also have return claims, which is always slightly more interesting on series.
Could be helpful.
Definitely looking for electronics to be a big thing later in the game with this electronics colony.
I'm thinking of scientific on the right.
Scientific on the right would be solid, pretty close to the silicon. If your iron, water.
I'll scavenge. I think you should found last because of the claims.
I'm pretty okay with the nomad founds. I think I agree with you that I wouldn't be founding first. And Clippy founded for a lot of debt for that. I don't see that being worthwhile.
Why going for late? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, no real good access to silicon, although there are 2 nomads, so maybe that works out. He is claiming a low.
That should be enough.
Lena Scientist should work out pretty nicely. The steel triangles to start makes tons of sense with double steel. I'd like to see a lot of water next HQ.
A lot of water, get that price down and go into reactors.
Exactly. Whippy, what are you gonna do on HQ2? More aluminum is fine. I would probably like to see water here too. Maybe a transition into glass after that.
Yeah, you want to get that glass money after it. Everyone is upgrading now. Okay, Morgan, what's Morgan doing? A lot of silicon. Okay, and he's going into glass. He has salt. So that will
ooh, salt glass will be excellent, yeah. Didn't even notice that. I really like Morgan's found. Clippy going into ice instead of water pumps feels a bit weird to me.
Yeah, but the scientific is already going into free water and...
I mean, sure, but Polina needs to sell that water. I guess not until day. Okay, she does that.
Okay. Good job.
Yep. Going into the reactors just like we were talking about.
Going in the middle.
Riot going into double ice too. He's gonna be late into water. He's not gonna get that money. I don't know what his backup plan's gonna be. He cancels out one of those, which is good. But he's...
Is it...
I mean,
what
I
else
think
is
so.
he going to do?
You can put down a single glass, a single reactor, next to these mines. Probably doesn't need both mines. For long, anyway.
That's the thing, he doesn't have like enough water to go into life support.
Could even go into a 4th steel mill and be fine, I think. I don't know about Morgan going into 3 glass. That seems like overkill with the salt. Double glass would have been plenty. Although,
He probably wants to kill the glass market and transition into something else.
Yes, that's fair. It's working out pretty nicely for him, so can't complain too much. This power surplus, though.
That's lucky for Polina.
Yeah, Morgan's gonna be upset about that. He's the first one into any real amount of power. Ryek's single nuclear plant doesn't really count.
A claim. I think only Ryak can afford 28k, yeah.
I think Morgan could push 32 pretty well.
Always surplusing, so I don't know.
I mean, I feel like he's going to upgrade fairly quickly, and then I think he wants... well, I don't know. HQ5 might be a bit difficult. Clippy and Morgan definitely need to start looking at getting into electronics before too long, since most of the other markets are just that dead.
So much silicon there. Oh, the nukes are flying. I think you want to nuke the silicon. There's so many silicon tiles. It's going to take forever.
Yeah, on the other hand, if anyone's going to be dropping the nukes, Clippy makes sense.
Sure. Hey. Lena upgraded, going into 2 nuclear plants off base. Okay, that's interesting. Still has 2 claims. Not sure where she should go for.
Not so sure about the nuke plants either. I mean, eventually, sure,
And
but right now it feels unnecessary.
I think you still need them.
Maybe. I guess power is middling, and if you keep pushing that, get into trouble.
I think she found it last, right?
Uh,
Oh no, not last.
Second to
At
last,
least
I
she got
think.
2 extra claims already, so those 2 probably should be fine.
I mean, they're fine, but I just wonder if they couldn't be something better.
They'll be going into a pen lab with next to the colony. Going on it. Not sure what he's going for.
That's... I guess that's fine. Eventually that'll turn into an optimization center. You want that gooned, so no real problem with that. It's also close enough that's not a real delay. Still worried about Morgan auto-selling this glass, still having the triangle down. It's just not really where you want to be.
Nope. Okay, he's going into something else now. Farms. Okay, that's...
It's too many farms.
It's got to be fine. Lena also going into a pen lab. Not good, so might wanna buy one. Yeah, going to do that. Maybe he's going for nanotech. Do you really need nanotech?
I mean, if you're worried about nuke rain, maybe. And I guess silicon is that expensive at the moment, but I don't think that's the first priority. I'd maybe even go liquid batteries first. Or slant. Not slant, not on series, I guess.
Lena is going for teleportation.
Guess that's fine, but it seems pretty unnecessary. Like, you maybe get 2 silicon tiles remote, you have those 2 nuke plants, and I guess your carbon. I mean, it's okay.
I was more looking for slant drilling for water.
Slant would be pretty nice.
I think she needs both. But okay. The elite, what is the elite doing? Still 1 nuclear plant, 2 farms, standard stuff, a lot of primary resources.
Yeah, which is working out okay for the moment. But you really should have gotten into a pleasure dome by this point, and probably some other advanced building too. Then he has this... Oh right, that's the auction claim. I would put a optimization center down there.
From Ryak?
Yeah.
He has that one for a long time already.
Right. I mean, it made sense not to use it when he first got it, because he couldn't really afford to, but at this point, should absolutely be doing something. Maybe he's
Did you win
forgotten.
that one from an auction?
Yeah, it was like a 28k or something. Anyway. Would be... I don't understand financial instruments that quickly.
From who?
From,
Yeah.
was that a auction maybe actually? Oh yeah, that was an 8k auction. Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Liquid...
Even then, I wouldn't.
I mean, for 8k.
It's
Either way, liquid batteries makes a lot of sense as his current choice. He's fully defended himself, which is interesting. I'm not sure I would have done that. I guess there's no great option for attacking. Everyone is pretty close to defending themselves. They need to.
Don't see any optimization centers, which is a must on series.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to see that soon.
Especially as a nomad here, you can't coast along and think you're going to finish the game. You need to push heavy optimizations or something. Probably heavy optimizations, because the alternative is off-world, which isn't a real good alternative ever on series.
I think Ryak is leading this one because he's the lead to upgrades, and now he has Glacier Dome coming up.
Yeah, I think if Ryak plays this out well, he should be in an extremely strong position to take it, but we will have to see.
However, he's leaking a lot of power.
Can't let them get this.
Eventually, it will be beat up.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that's definitely fixable as a lead, but we'll see what he does. Morgan, I wonder if anyone's going to take the opportunity to try to buy him out.
Pauline, I think no one can. No one can, no. Lena needs to upgrade, Clippy doesn't have enough.
I mean, if anything, I would expect a split buy. Like, Clippy starts pushing in and then other people join in or something. But yeah.
I don't think as Clippy you want to do that. Your best bet is for Ryak to die from that.
That's fair.
The other two players be,
On
they
the-
should.
On the other hand, I just don't know what the plan is for Clippy. He's just not getting anywhere. He had a pretty solid lead, and he's pretty much fallen back to the pack at this point. I mean, liquid batteries, nanotech are nice, but they're not gonna change the game for you.
Lane upgraded to HQ level 5 is really slow with her lanes. Going for silicon to makes sense.
Meanwhile, Ryak has 3 optimization centers. I guess only 2 of them are actually his.
Like it's stolen.
Good move by Clippy, mutinying that optimization center. Why does Okay, he's getting transparent aluminum, which makes no real sense to me unless he really, really wants an off-world for some reason. I don't think prices are going to trend that direction.
Off-worlds, 40k.
They're okay, but that's also an oxygen launch, and I don't know.
Polina is going into 2 optimization centers, that should help her a lot. I hope she is going to attack Ryak on its power. She's also making power money.
Yeah, needs to be using black market to really get in a strong position. I mean, she has a lot of good things going for her. That energy vault, I think, has been helping a lot towards this power money push, as well as perpetual motion. But I don't know. Late into optimizations is something that worries me against this elite.
Morgan has a lot of farms and a lot of water cells.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what's been going on with the second HQ down there. Just in general, it's been a bit awkward all game for Morgan.
I mean, the start was fine. 6 farms, okay. Going into an optimization center is a little bit too late, but
It's late, but it has to be done anyway, I think. I'd really like to see 2 of these condenser claims returned. I don't think there's any reason to have 5 ice condensers still.
Nuclear engine is useless.
Pretty much.
Okay. If I look at it now, like at the players, I don't see your favorite now. However, Ryak is paying off his steps now, but he's really struggling with life support. He doesn't have life support, that is going to hurt him. He needs to get rid of this steel. You don't need steel when you're HQ level 5.
Especially since he has nanotech.
Yeah.
There also isn't a great reason for him to have 2 pleasure domes down.
The optimization center is online. Let the planned
And
obsolescence begin.
this inactive optimization center, well now it's active, but it wasn't for a moment. One thing I would be concerned about for Polina, she only has the 2 carbon tiles. I might actually be tempted to swap those chems into straight carbon.
Pirates.
I want her to, like, get those return claims and scrap those to water and then go into carbon.
I might also consider returning the electronics claims. I mean, they're okay,
Yeah.
but you also have 2 nomads in this game, so hopefully they keep silicon in check. Maybe not.
He has to go. Everyone needs to follow on Ryak, because if he pays off his step, then it's going to be really difficult.
Are
I say
his...
that, but he's still like gaining like 800, 750
Our methods
per second.
continue to improve.
Yeah. Don't pull blues, don't go no power late game, because this is a ton of debt. Okay, Polina's starting to make that push in. It's a very smart move.
She needs to keep
Black market is
upgrading.
for business.
Yep, keep optimizing. But otherwise, I don't feel like either Morgan or Clippy are really going to pose much of a threat to her. Neither of them have gotten much traction this game.
They would if they went into carbon and no one is
Yeah.
thinking of going into carbon. Only Ryak has 3 carbon cells. Like the rest is like, we don't need it. We only need 1.
Right, pretty much exactly that. One of the main strengths of Nomad on series are these return claims. Normally they're kind of a side benefit, but on series you can do so much with getting extra carbon, getting extra uranium sometimes, even iron occasionally, depending on what the other factions are. There's so much use to that.
Nuclear plant. Oh, Polina's making a killing out of power. Also, Morgan is making power money bets a little bit.
Independent industrial espionage agent
Let's
seeks
see,
Martian
yeah.
opportunities.
These auctions aren't that great.
Yeah, they're all very underwhelming.
Clippy's going for it like every time. Which you really don't want to do if you're on C-dubs.
Mm-hmm. Right, especially for something like a spy, there's, in your position when you're kind of behind and there's not really going to be a major target to attack. I don't know what you're going to get out of this spy. Like if you're ahead and you want to make sure no one's hacking or something, maybe. If it's earlier in the game, maybe. It's not series and there are off-worlds to look for, maybe.
Have advanced our production.
But yeah.
Okay, now Ryak has like his debts a little bit under control.
Right, he's managed to pay off a fair amount.
Continue to improve.
Feels like far too late to go into this patent lab and start pushing things, but I guess.
Optimization routines successful.
Alright, he didn't have nanotech, that was Clippy. I'm not...
I still,
Okay.
Morgan is upgrading a lot now, but it's too late.
Yeah.
I think Polina should have it.
Advanced our production.
Morgan does still have the salt going for him, but that's about it.
I mean, he's not really using it.
Yeah.
Only 2 phones.
This is a point where I would like to see the mass farms again. Okay. Now 5 farms. And now someone sold out of a lot of food. Probably Polina.
I think I saw that,
Market is
yeah.
online.
And no one else has food, so that's what would make oh, I guess Clippy has some.
Also, kind of disappointed that no one is using pirates on the carbon.
Continue to improve.
Yeah. Cool. Pirates, more nukes.
Or everything.
Optimization routines successful.
I would really probably switch both those chems into carbon by this point, if I were Polina.
Yeah. Well, yes and no, because the price of carbon is going down.
Yeah,
She has
but
a lot of
the
upgrades.
price of chems are also going down.
True.
I think you want to get that really fast mass carbon money before anyone else can.
Oh, that's mass money. It's probably, I think, Ryak got most of it. Okay, she's stealing from Ryak now.
Yeah, Mutiny Nuke is reasonable.
Hey, yeah, but the last one. Would be
She's-
going for an off-road, really?
Yep.
I mean, 54, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think he has many other options, really. But either way, Polina very close to the buy on Ryak. Ryak managing to make a ton of money. Not surprising, that is what elites do.
Our production.
But I don't think he's going to get enough in time. He really should start buying into Polina now if he wants any chance of surviving.
He just gave a lot of power money to Polina Ryak, because he's a -6.3 and Polina's +4, so she's
Yep.
earning a lot of money. It's like an upfront.
Right.
More than that.
Even if power doesn't look like a tremendously important market, when you really think about how much debt you're paying off and how much money you're giving to other people, it's just a huge swing. Don't underestimate power.
Optimization routine success.
And now he's really giving the game over to Polina.
No!
I mean, Riot could finish the buy here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, never mind. Kill him.
Polina's still very close to finishing this. Could
Just
sell
sell
a few
your
more
stocks.
stock.
What? Oh, Morgan.
I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, I don't think
mean-
it doesn't really matter what Morgan does at this point. I don't think you can effectively challenge Polina. But selling out of Riot, keeping him alive a little longer, buying into Polina now, it's probably his best shot.
Polina should start buying and selling out of herself. This is like wasting time now.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to
Oh,
get...
that mutiny is a waste. You have the game already if you just buy into him and sell out of yourself.
Right, I mean, that off-world would be yours anyway if you just buy Ryak. But it's fine. Polina still has this well in hand.
Hey man!
She's at
Last game.
99%.
I wanna see it.
Yeah, Ryak played a... He really had a shot at this one. There's a real opening for him, but just a bunch of misplays here and there. Paid off all his debt, buying into Polina now. It's just not going to be enough, though. Prices are starting to die on World. I guess he does have Clippy's money there for him. This
is way too late.
This would be a hilarious comeback if it happens, but it's not gonna.
I'm going to be so annoyed if that's...
And Morgan buying into that stock of Polina, I think, kind of seals it. Ryak needed as much cheap stock to boost his price as possible. Polina, you have the 100%.
I mean, she's still on a cooldown.
Yeah, I guess. She does have everything cancelled, except for this food launch, which is worth nothing anyway. Okay. Nicely played. Yeah. Nomads are difficult to play on anything but Mars. You have to have a real good plan for them, otherwise you will fall out of it late.
Yep. And Morgan concedes.
Yep, no real sense in prolonging this one. Actually a pretty interesting set of moneymakers for Polina. Only 291k from her highest as power. Energy Vault, Perpetual Motion really paying huge dividends. Meanwhile, Ryak making most of his money off of uranium and iron. I do wonder somewhat how frequently Ryak was selling iron this game. As the sole producer of iron, I think there's definitely
to sell that.
Yeah, you can hold on, just wait for the huge base demand on series to really pump that price up and make huge money. Polina can't effectively stop you because if she just transitions, then you sell out, and it doesn't matter.
If you look at power bots from Ryak and power swords from Polina, you can see that Ryak just gave the depth power money to Polina.
Yep, absolutely. Maybe there's an argument that Morgan should have pushed a little harder into powers to help keep that more under control, but yeah. Ryak, despite that huge power transfer, money transfer, was really in a position where he had an opportunity to do stuff, just not quite putting all the pieces together. Two pleasure domes. Don't need those. Steal. A lot of things. But it's fine. Alright.
I mean, mean, I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, well,